Yo, what's up everybody? Jumpin' yeah, and I am back on some Demon Souls with my Noob's Guide. And today, I'm going to be conquering World 1-2, which is basically just the next world after the first episode. But the reason why I'm going here is because of healing items. This is something that I recommend as a new player that you might want to do, is to go and farm a bunch of healing items because we're going to need them. Where we're going to be going next after this, it could be a little bit difficult. So an example is we can stock up and like fully max out our half moon grass and our late moon grass. And that should be enough to get us through what we're going to be trying to do after this. But the world that we need to do, and we really have to like focus on, is going to be World 5. So you're going to have to pretty much beat all of World 5. And the way that the difficulty works in this game is that an example is obviously 1-1 here is super easy. 1-2 is actually like probably the second easiest place. And then after that you would have like 2-1 and then basically you just kind of go up the chain. So when you start on World 5, this can be difficult. But to be honest with you, the hardest world in the entire game is World 4. So keep that in mind. This world is not going to be that bad, but it will be annoying. But the healing items will help us out a lot, so that's why we need to go and do that. Now, as a reminder, I'm going to show you what I've done with my stats so far. The idea here, the most important thing you want to get is the 22 strength. Now, the reason for that is because of this shield. This shield is extremely good. We can upgrade it as well to make the defense a little bit better, mainly the guard break. And that just means that when we're blocking, we're going to lose less stamina, so that's extremely good. But the idea from now on is we're going to be using this shield to block a lot of stuff. Where before we were trying to dodge stuff and even maybe parry a little bit. But with this shield, we can pretty much block almost everything in the game and we will have no problems. So that's something that we definitely want to focus on. Now, the idea of this build is going to be that we are going to use a certain weapon. It's called the Blue Blood Sword. And to get that weapon, we have to finish World 5. That's why we need to go here. Now, the stat requirements for that weapon is actually quite high. We need to get an 18 in Dex, an 18 in Magic, an 18 in Faith, and we also needed an 18 in Strength. And then we're going to want to get our luck up to about 25. That's good enough, honestly, for the first playthrough. I wouldn't really worry about really raising it higher than that. But also, we're going to want to get our vitality up just so that we have more health and HP. We're going to need our intelligence up to 15 because we're going to be using a couple spells that will be like somewhat expensive and it's going to make the game a lot easier. So having 15 intelligence will be important. And Faith, like we are going to have that at 18, but we want that at least 16 because there's going to be a spell that's extremely good, especially for surviving. Now before I actually go and conquer this world, and I was thinking about doing multiple worlds in this episode, I basically decided that I might only do 1-2 in this episode, and that's because I do want to talk about something. And again, I will put timestamps, so if you want to skip this part, you can if you already know any of this information. But I want to try to break down what world tendency is and character tendency, because this is a very confusing thing for brand new players. So here's an example. Basically, in World 1, it is actually kind of black, which is surprising to me because I've only died once while human on that world. But every other world is gray because I haven't touched it yet. Now, the way that you can get to the white status is you have to beat the bosses without dying as a human. Now, if you're a phantom like I am right now, you have no penalties if you die 1,000 times. It will not change the world tendency. But if you're a human and you die, it will go dark. And the darker it gets, the harder it will actually become. But you do get the benefit of getting more experience and you get a higher drop chance for rare drops. Because item discovery in this game, it's really not that great. Mainly, and this is something that we're going to get with this build, is we're going to have a higher item discovery because we're going to increase our luck. But when you have item discovery, you're going to have a higher chance of getting lesser drops. The super rare drops, actually having a lower item discovery is better for super rare drops. But the main thing that's going to affect that is going to be the world tendency. So being pure black, for example, is going to get you a lot of those drops a lot faster and easier. and you also get a lot more XP. Now, when you're in the pure white status or the white status, the world will become easier, and that's basically what that does. Now, the thing is, though, is that there are also events that will happen. There's going to be a white Tennessee event, and this is always either pure white or pure black. And there's going to be a black Tennessee event. Now, I wouldn't really worry about a lot of these Tennessee events on your first playthrough. They're not that important. So if you want to be human and you want that extra health, or if you want to summon people for co-op, you can do that. And if you die, well, then your world is probably not going to get the pure white. That's kind of the thing. If you want to get the pure white status, like I could still get the pure white status on World 1 there, even though I made the mistake and I died while human that one time. So it's not like the end of the world, but the thing is that on a first playthrough, you're going to die a lot. So because you might die a lot, if you're trying to do these World Tennessee events, like the pure white one, what you want to do every single time is whenever you're a human and you're in the Nexus, just pretty much run up the stairs and kill yourself, jump off. That way you're a phantom, recover your souls, and then you can die as many times as you want, and you're not going to be penalized. Now, as a phantom, though, you cannot be invaded by other players, so if you're worried about that, like other players coming in, because if you're brand new to the game, you probably shouldn't be doing PvP, or at least it might be annoying because people are going to come in and kill you and you're like, that's dumb. So if you're a phantom, you don't have to worry about people coming in like that. And also, you cannot do co-op. So if you feel like you definitely need to do the co-op for the extra help, then just keep that in mind. But I will be trying to cover all of the Tennessee events in this game, the pure white and the pure black. So the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to try to get pure white in the world. And then once I get the pure white status, I can go and show the Tennessee event, what you get. And honestly, most of it doesn't really matter, to be honest. Some of it is trophies, if you're trying to get, like, trophies and stuff. So that's another reason to do them. But basically, I'm going to show what you get and how to do them for the pure white. And then I'm going to make it pure black and show you what you get for the pure black. And basically, you know, it's an interesting system, but it can be very confusing to a new player because they just don't understand. If you want pure black, you gotta die as a human. If you want pure white, you need to not die as a human and beat the bosses. That's the simplest way to break that down. Now, character Tennessee, this is something different. Basically, it's the little eyeball that you see. And right now, I'm gray. And this can either be white or black or pure white. And there are a couple things that you can get. There is a ring you can get if you can get the pure white status for your character Tennessee. You actually get it from the Montemento, that little annoying like thing you had to talk to in the last episode. You have to run all the way up the stairs. It's like the kid who's like a statue or something. If you talk to him, and that's one of the reasons why you need to say yes to him when he asks, will you help me? You have to say yes, because if you want that ring, then you need to say yes, and then once you have the pure white character Tennessee, you can go and talk to him and get that ring. Again, not that important. It's a decent ring if you are trying to like play like co-op and you're putting your sign down and you're helping other people. But the thing is that basically I wouldn't worry about it so much. And if you're trying to get all the trophies, then that's really when you want to worry about it, because you got to get that ring if you want to get all the trophies, because one of the trophies is to get all the rings. So that's something. Now, pure black status for the character Tennessee, that is going to mainly get you an extra quest line. Now, the quest line, you will kill a bunch of NPCs. You do get rewards for doing it, so honestly, in a lot of cases, it's a good idea to do it at the end of the game. Now, again, getting pure black is always easy. If you're trying to get pure black, like Tennessee in the world, just become human and kill yourself. Very easy, very simple, there you go. Pure white's a little bit more complicated because you have to beat the bosses, and you can't, like, replay the bosses. Now, on New Game Plus, you can, but on, like, a normal playthrough, you only can play the bosses once. So, that's something. And it's the same when it comes to the character Tennessee. If you want to be pure black, you just need to kill NPCs. That's it. And there are several NPCs that you can kill that you're not going to be really penalized for the world Tennessee. See, that's a problem, too. If you're killing, like, certain NPCs, it will affect your world Tennessee. But mainly, like, the merchant NPCs, if you kill them, it's not going to affect it. Also, if you do invade other players and you kill them when you're the bad guy, that's going to make you more black and pure black character Tennessee. Now, to get the pure white character Tennessee, what you have to do is you have to kill either one the NPCs who are Black Phantoms, mainly they are the ones with names. They are like actually unique because they kind of count as invaders in a way. And to get them, you have to be pure black in these worlds. So once you get the pure black status, every world's going to have one of these that you can go and kill. And if you kill them, then what's going to happen is you're going to get some white character tendency. You can also get a little tiny bit of white character tendency if you summon people for co-op. You have to be the host, you have to be the human, and you have to have phantoms with you. And then when you beat the boss, you're going to get a little bit of white character tendency for that. And then the other way of getting the white character tendency is killing the invaders, the humans who come in, the real people. You kill them, and then that's going to get you a lot of white character tendency. So that's the thing about this. This is a lot of this, the character tendency stuff, is PvP related. Either you are the human and people come in and you kill them, or you go and basically invade other players, and then you basically will become bad. And there are ways to get the pure black just by killing NPCs if you're not trying to do PvP at all. And pure white, well, it would take a very long time. Well, actually, it doesn't take that long. But it would take a very long time if you just relied on summoning people while you're the human. That's going to take a long time. But if you do make all the worlds pure black and then you kill those like NPCs, then you can get pure white that way as well. Now, I know that's a lot to go over. So, you know, that's why I was pretty confident I wasn't going to do two worlds here, because I know that the character tendency stuff and the world tendency stuff can be extremely confusing. And here's another thing too. This weapon, for example, this weapon will scale off of pure white character tendency. There are actually 3 weapons like this in the game. There is Demon Brand, this is for pure white, and there's Soul Brand, which is for pure black. And then there's another weapon that you combine the 2 swords together. You have to get this on New Game Plus, though. So your second playthrough. But that weapon, it doesn't matter. You can be pure white or pure black. It makes no difference. You get the bonus. The scaling can be crazy good. So, one thing you can do with this weapon, if you have a friend, maybe like you convinced a friend to get this with you and you were going to do co-op with them. Well, basically what you could do is you could actually try to have them invade you. So you go into an area while you're the human, and then you have your friend try to invade you while they're the phantom. And if they can come into your world, then you can actually get some free kills off of them. And you can easily get the pure white character tendency that way, by boosting it. And if you do that, this weapon is going to have an insane attack rating. Its attack rating right now is 240. This goes up to 480, I believe, when you have the pure white status. And that sword is so powerful, it can carry you through the entire game. You will just wreck everything. Now, the build that we're going for is going to wreck everything as well. But if you had a friend to do that with you right away, man, it will really make the game a cakewalk for you if you do that. And if your friend does it too, and you help your friend with the whole pure white character tendency thing, it really is a cakewalk. So, now that we got that all out of the way, I can finally actually start playing. So we're going to do the Lord's Path. This is 1-2, and basically the main reason to do this is because it's easy, and also the other reason to do this is because we are going to be able to farm healing items, and we can get some experience while we're farming. Another thing, just real quick, before I actually go and do the World 5, which is, like I said, might be somewhat difficult, I will actually do like the early parts of World 2 as well, because it really doesn't make any difference. To get the weapon I'm trying to get, you have to beat World 2 too. So you can't get the weapon until then. So there's no reason to really go and do World 5 right away. So I think in the next episode I might do World 2. And World 2 is great because we can get some upgrade materials and then upgrade our shield. And by upgrading the shield, we're going to get that guard break up, and it's going to block literally everything. Alrighty, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this ahead because I'm going to take a quick little break. But when I come back, we're going to be doing World 1-2, which is the Lord's Path. Alrighty, now I almost forgot this. This is kind of important. I'm glad I didn't go right away. That is Thomas. You should talk to Thomas anytime you're done with an area and put away anything that you're not going to use. One of the big ones is going to be materials. Get rid of them. They're going to take a lot of weight up. And same with like all the weapons you might pick up that you're not going to use. Armor and cross bolts, I'm not using that. You can put the armor away. I'm going to keep the Ancient King armor just because I'll eventually use it, so why not keep it in my inventory? But you can see the item burden up on the top right, and whenever like you get close to that 100 mark, which that will increase when you level up your vitality, but when you get close to like hitting that point, you have to like press start to put items into your storage. And it's just annoying. That's really the thing. But it's okay. Alright, the Lord's Path. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little scared. The reason why I'm scared is because I have this black status. I don't know how that happened. Normally, you have to die, like, at least twice to get black status as a human. I died once. I died just the one time when I messed up. But the moment I messed up, I thought I should have started over. Maybe because that was such a big, crucial mistake on my part. You know, running and trying to do that while human, just because I was trying to be lazy. You have to remember this too. That first episode, I think it was like an hour. It was at least an hour, maybe more, of like one, like, straight, like, me talking. Like, one take, let's put it that way. I didn't, there was no cuts, nothing, no breaks, nothing. And because of that, you know, I was just being stupid. Alright, so there's an item over here. If that knight was alive, he would be over here. And you could talk to him, and then you can go and rescue him. But being that he's dead, because we killed him to get the key, to get this weapon, to get this armor, we don't have to worry about that. There's an item up here as well. And I do want to talk about shields, basically, and the way that you kind of want to play. Basically, you can block almost everything now. Like, if you really want to be super cautious, you can just kind of run in and block, and then whenever you get an opening, attack. And a lot of enemies are going to bounce off our shield, and we're going to get that increased stability damage when they bounce off for our counterattack. So, it's actually, like, super good. Shields are amazing in the Souls games. And what always happens generally is that people might use a shield on their very first playthrough because it's nice, they like it. But then as they start to play and they beat it multiple times, they drop the shield and then they get good and they dodge through everything. Now that's fine, but the reality is shields are amazing and they're kind of OP, so there's really no reason not to use them. Now on this bridge, the dragon, the red dragon, he's coming back. There he is. And there's some items on this bridge. They are really not worth grabbing. If you take the chance to grab them, you might die. That dragon breath could kill you. Now, the thing about the black status that I have, which you should not have, because if you followed the guide, you would have went back to the Nexus, you would have killed yourself, then you would have went back and tried to do the cheese. But the thing is that basically the dragon is going to hit me harder. All the enemies here are going to hit me harder. And that's really annoying, by the way, when he does that. You could still, if he hits you like that, you could still, like, run across them. You should have more than enough time to make it to the end. And that's it, basically. Just wait for the dragon to breathe fire and then run to the end. Now, if you want to grab this item, once the dragon has passed, you can go and grab that. Look what it is. It's Crescent Moongrass. Is it worth it? No. If you want to grab this item as well, you can. You just wait for the attack, go and grab it, and then book it back. But that's a spear. It's a good weapon, honestly, but we're not using it, so it doesn't matter. Now, this bridge, this is the one bridge, definitely, where you really shouldn't try to grab the items in the middle. You can come out here, you can grab like that, and then you can grab, like, some other stuff at the end. But there's items in the middle, and trying to run past that giant bridge, you're probably going to get hit by the dragon. So if you have, like, maybe more hit points, you can probably do it, but at this point of the game, I would not recommend trying that. Now, this is something that you can do, like, where they bounce off and we counterattack. And we can literally do that to so many enemies in the game. Watch out for the crossbow, guys. You can block them too, but this weapon is really good because of its, like, sweeping attacks. It's got nice sweeping attacks where you can take out multiple guys. It's super, super nice. And remember to always lock on. Locking on, you know, super good. And that's something I always notice newer players might have trouble with. They just forget to lock on, and then they start to struggle, and they start swinging at the air, and you know, if you're playing co-op with a new player, you might be kind of going, what are you swinging at? Because they're swinging at the air. Watch out for the enemy around the corner. Now, if that knight was alive, which he's not, then there would be like a bunch of crossbow guys over here. But being that he's dead, we don't have to worry about that. But the idea is that you come back here and you rescue him, and then he will give you an item, and then he will patrol the area. That's basically how that plays out. Now, one thing I kind of felt bad about with the first episode, looking back and watching it, was that when I was doing the headbutt cheese, I didn't really, like, repeat myself. I know a lot of people get annoyed if I repeat myself, but the thing is that I know some people might skip parts, and if I'm, like, about to demonstrate the cheese, I should have, like, stopped and said, okay, you know, this is how you do the headbutt. It's up and the light attack at the exact same time, and it's up on the left stick, so you have to press it up and the light attack at the exact same time, and if you do that, you'll do the headbutt, and you can practice the headbutt versus a wall, and then get good at doing it, and then try the cheese. Where I explained how to do the headbutt early in the video, and then I kind of didn't explain it again until, like, the end of the video, so, you know, I kind of felt bad about that. Now, watch out over here. There's going to be a guy around the corner. So, let's go ahead and same thing, take him out, and there's a trap. This is a total trap. He gets me almost every time. Look at that. He's hiding in the shadows, so let him come at us, and then take him out. And then we can grab the item. Now, this part sucks. This part really sucks. These dogs, I hate dogs. But if you kind of block and not bounce off the stupid wall, which is annoying, but honestly, if you just swing like crazy, the wide sweeping attacks should take out all the dogs, okay? But the dogs, if they gank you and they get all over you, can kill you. So be careful about that. Blocking them works pretty good, but mainly when you get a chance, just try to do your attack and you'll probably kill a ton of the dogs. You know, maybe one or two might be alive after your first attack. Okay, so this merchant, it's the same guy from before in World 1, but he's now selling the Claymore. That's a good weapon. Honestly, at this point in the game, that would be the only thing that I might normally buy from him if I was trying to, like, use the Claymore. But it's a great weapon. I mean, basically, this weapon we're using is just like a Claymore. The main difference is that it has no scaling, so leveling up stats doesn't do anything with this weapon. Only the character tendency will do something with this weapon for extra scaling and more damage. But the other thing is that it also has magic damage, which magic damage in this game is so good having that. And it's totally, like, worth it because a lot of enemies are strong against physical, where magic damage will make up and you'll do a ton of damage. Now, on this part, there's going to be 4 crossbow guys coming up here, so basically, if you can kind of avoid their bolts and kind of get like that, I mean, look at that. Easily take out multiple guys with the wide sweeping attacks. The two-handed, like, version of using this weapon is very good. I would say that if you're trying to use the shield, which I recommend, the one-handed is fine, but yeah. Now, those are a couple items we can get at the end of that bridge. But like I said, the middle of the bridge, don't do it. Now this part for me is going to suck because I know what's coming up here. Because I'm in this black status, which you should not be in, okay? So this will be easy for you because there's only going to be one night to deal with. But for me, because I have the black status, there's going to be 3 nights. And they are going to be annoying. So I'm going to try something here. Now you could do the same thing, but it's risky. Death is very possible doing this. You know what would be a good idea maybe? It might be a good idea to put the flame resistant ring on. I'm overweight now, so yeah. That's a problem. I might be slower running. I can maybe take off some clothes. Okay, I'll do that for now, just because explaining the weight, you know, remember, you want to stay under 50%. If you're over 50%, you're fat. Do not be over 50%. Always stay under 50%. Alright, we're going to wait for the dragon to breathe his fire, and then we're going to book it. To be honest with you, taking off that armor was probably a bad idea, because I probably lost, honestly, more defense for fire than I gained. But basically, we can come over here, we can deal with these guys, the archers, and look at that. That's what I have to deal with. So feel bad for me. But right there, the dragon just he went ahead and braided his fire, so I'm gonna just I'm gonna book it back, just right all the way back, and hopefully that should maybe do some damage or deal with those knights. I just hope they don't de-aggro on me, otherwise we're gonna be here all day doing this. Okay, one looks like he's stuck. That's good. Hopefully he will die. But those red enemies, yeah, there we go, nice. Those red enemies, they will only appear when you have the black or pure black status. And those enemies are going to be so tough. Those enemies are terrible, okay? So that's why you don't want to get the black status. So killing yourself and becoming a phantom in the Nexus and then doing the worlds at that point, it will make the game easier, because if you end up accidentally dying and getting like the black status, it can be tough. It can be very tough. Now, one of those guys is still alive, but being that it's just one, actually, never mind, he died too. But I was gonna say, you know, it should be easy. Now, against the normal ones, it's super easy. You can either circle while blocking to get a backstab, or you can just let them bounce off and counterattack. So he didn't bounce off there, but we could circle and go for a backstab. Very, very easy. Now, those enemies there definitely just dropped a bunch of healing items. Now, this is risky, so it's up to you. I mean, honestly, you can wait on this to go and grab these items, and that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to recommend, because the enemies that we're going to be farming to get, like, the healing items, the grasses, it's going to be those knights that we just, like, not the 3, but we're going to kill the normal ones. So, for me, this world will not be black anymore once I kill this boss. And for you, the world will actually be, I think it will be white for you. So, it's not going to be pure white, but it's going to be white if you haven't died as a human here. So, basically, you just go and kill the knights, pick up their, like, drops, and it's guaranteed drop every time. And just keep doing that until you get, like, enough grass where you feel very comfortable with the healing items, and you will also get some souls. You'll get some experience while you're doing it, and you can actually kind of either level up, or you can go and like basically try to get some upgrade materials, which I will show in this episode as well, me going to get a couple upgrade materials. Now, you can just drop down there if you want to like not waste time, but you will take some damage. Like I said, when it comes to this boss, normally when I'm playing, I always just attack the boss, and I never deal with the archers. It's really not that bad. But I will say that if you go ahead and you just go after the boss like that, you can get a trophy. So if you're looking for that, go ahead and do that. If you don't care about that, then go and kill the archers. There's no reason not to. So let's go ahead and skip the cutscene, and watch out for his attack. We just roll over here. Could have probably just blocked as well as we ran. Running and blocking is good. Now we can come up top and kill the first knight. And go ahead and just come over here. Now the boss himself is going to be shooting like a soul arrow magic attack at us. Okay? So as long as you stay like here, it should be no problem, and you should be able to avoid it. So just take out these archers one at a time. You know, try to not expose yourself to the edge, because that's how you're going to get hit by that attack. Probably not going to hit very hard, though. Now we can go ahead and pick that up, and we're going to go to the other side and deal with the archers on this side as well. Now, this boss, it's all about trying to stay behind him as much as possible. He's going to have AoE attacks. Now, with this weapon, it's going to do so much damage to him that it's going to be great. Alright? So, gotta watch out, because I did get hit, as you can see. Let's use one of these. Now, this is the rule, like normal. The rule is maybe 2 hits and then stop and try to like counter. Like, you always want to like let the boss attack and then you attack and then you let the boss attack. That's your best and easiest way to ever do it. Alright, so we're gonna rush the boss after he does that. And our goal, just like a couple of the other bosses, is to basically get behind him. So if you want a 2-hand, you can, but even like right there, that did some decent damage. Anytime you need to heal, go ahead and heal up. Do not like risk it. Heal yourself. Now that's a big slam. As long as you get behind him, it will miss, okay? Come in, smack him twice. Now we can kind of back up. Okay, let him slam. Go in. Attack him twice. Okay, same thing. Sometimes he'll backstep like that. So that's why you don't want to stay directly behind him. Now, when he turns around, and I'm staying unlocked on purpose because it's easier to honestly do this. Now, when he starts to fumble, get out of his way. Do not stand behind him, otherwise he'll knock you down. But at this point, look at the damage. It is insane. So this is a nice little move, by the way. You can do this one-handed or two-handed. You can do a light attack and then a heavy attack. And that's a nice little move. And it can do some great damage, so boom. And I like doing that a lot, so. Okay, at this point, I'm going to pick that item up. And I'm going to go ahead and run up here. And I'm going to pick this item up as well. And I am not going to grab those items that were back on that bridge yet. Because I'm going to go kill myself. Remember, this is what you do. So I'm going to go to the Nexus. And I'm going to not level up, maybe not right away. Like, I will. Well, actually, let's just do this first. So, the Iron Demon Soul. Every boss soul will drop you certain things. Remember, you can go ahead and put away your stuff that you're not going to use. So, let's just go ahead and do that. Okay. Put all that away. And I think I'm good. But the boss souls, honestly, it's up to you. You can just go ahead and throw them in the box. They can give you certain things. And in the case of that one, though, I'm probably not going to use that soul. There is one spell that's really good, and I would say it could be, like, nice right now. But the problem is that I would need, I believe, like, 15. Yeah, I need, like, 14 intelligence, which, I don't know. Let me actually take a look at my intelligence right now. What is it at? I mean, if you start as a royal, you know what? That's not so bad. You know what? Never mind. What am I talking about? Because to actually, like, get to use the boss soul, to get the spell, I would have to go and do World 3-1. So, yeah, I'm not going to go do World 3-1 right now. I don't recommend it. But let's go kill ourselves. So, this is what you do every single time. If you're trying to not make the world pure black, then if you're a human in the Nexus, come up the stairs. You can do it on either side and drop off. You can actually drop off and you can land on that part down there with that item. I don't think it's anything too important, but as you're like always killing yourself like this, honestly, try to aim for it. See if you can land down there on that item. And if you can get it, that's great. Go ahead and grab the item. But after you have killed yourself and now we're Phantom again, come up here and normally, yeah, the souls should be about here. There's kind of like a 5, maybe 10-second rule. So, like, if, like, you're running, for example, and then you fall off, normally your souls are going to be a little bit further back, maybe, like, 5 seconds before your death. So, always remember that, because sometimes you might be like, where's my souls? Where's my souls? And you can't find them. And that's the thing, is that it's probably a little bit further back, because you died, you know, suddenly. It's not like you were fighting an enemy, and then throughout the battle you died. It's like you just ran off the cliff and you died. So, that's something to remember. Okay, so we can go ahead and maybe level up a little bit. Remember, we want to get this to 18, we want to get this to 18, and we want to get this to 18. Vitality, though, is also nice just because it can make us a little bit more tanky so that we can try to survive. But I'm actually going to go ahead and take that to 18 because we still have magic. We can use it at any point. If you want to bust out your soul arrow, pull out your thing and start shooting it off. And you can actually do this too. I mean, this might be better, like, at this point. Because what you can do is you can block and you can cast your spell. Block and cast your spell. So, having it on the right hand might be a good idea at this point. Now, basically, what we can try to do, which, yeah, we can pop these. Let's pop these. Always, like, look in your inventory and pop all of the souls. If it's a boss soul, though, you might want to keep it. You can always Google, like, the boss soul, see what it does. And if it's something really dumb, like, oh, it makes a crappy weapon that's totally garbage and everyone agrees that it's trash, just pop the soul then. If it gives you spells, if you're going for trophies, I would say use the souls to get the spells. Because to get all the trophies, you have to play through the game, like, at least, like, maybe 3 times. Because you have to get, like, all of the boss souls, and get all the spells from the boss souls. And a lot of the spells might actually have 3 different, well, a lot of the boss souls might actually have 3 different spells that you can get. So if you're trying to get all the trophies, one of the trophies is to get all of the magic and to get all of the miracles. So it's all the spells. Keep that in mind. Okay, so now let me go ahead and upgrade my shield. Now, one thing real quick. For a new player, this might be kind of confusing. You do not need to keep your upgrade materials on you. You don't need it, not one bit. So basically, when you store these, if you go to a blacksmith, anywhere, don't matter if it's not here, it could be anywhere, you can actually upgrade. It's fine. So always put away your materials. There's no reason to hold it. But upgrading this shield will upgrade that guard break. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. Just a little bit. And what we can do real quick as well is we can go ahead and go to the smithing grounds. And there's actually going to be a lizard. And there was that other lizard as well. Now, if you want a quick tip about lizards, the lizards will respawn. And when they disappear, by the way, if you don't kill them, if they disappear, they will also respawn. So you can always just reload the area and then try again to kill the lizards. Now, the lizards will spawn. There will be an extra lizard for every boss you kill. So generally, when you kill all the bosses in the area, there will be a total of 4 lizards of the same. You know, so an example is this one right here. If we run to the left right away, there's a lizard. So we can just kind of run after him and then attack him and then finish him off. And he's going to drop us hard stone shards, which is great. That's like the upgrade material we want right now for our shield. We can also pick that up. So, basically, this lizard, that's 1 kill. If I come back here, like, later, if I kill another boss in this area, he'll respawn. I can kill him again. And then, when I kill the final boss in this area, I can basically kill that lizard a total of 4 times and get his drops 4 times. So, keep that in mind. That's really great. Now, this guy here, this merchant, he will sell some of these as well. So, if you want to buy some, if you feel like you need them for upgrading, you can. They're 500 souls a piece. But the thing is that we're going to go and farm for these healing items. And as we're farming, you will get souls. Like, by the time you're done, you might get like 15,000 souls at the end. So you can either use it to help you level up a little bit, or you can use it to actually help you upgrade this shield. Eventually, you have to start using the large shards for this. And right now, it's only going to be the normal ones. So, use 1. And look, I need 3 more. So, that's something. Actually, no, I don't. Or do I? Yeah, I do. You have to have 10 of the normal ones to basically do it. But once the shield is +3, that's when you're going to need the large shards, which you can actually get maybe a couple. I'll show you in a second because we're going to go here and start farming this now. But you want to teleport to the inner ward, and then we can start farming for the healing items at this point. And the thing about the world tendency too, just a little another thing to bring up, is that basically whenever you are in a world and, like, let's say it was black like it was for me, if I didn't reload the area, so if I come here and I do this, it reloads the area. That will actually correct it. So now, then it would be gray. So it was black, and then it will become gray. But killing the boss won't make it change right away. So the thing is that if I was to continue playing in this world, and it was black, if I didn't reload the area or go back to the Nexus, then it's going to stay black, and it's not going to go back to gray. So keep that in mind, because sometimes, like, let's say you get pure white status, right? It's another tip. Like, so you get the pure white world tendency status, and then you go and you die. And you're like, oh no, I died while I'm human and I'm pure white. That means you're going to lose the pure white. You're going to lose it. But here's the thing. If you actually then go back and try to, like, finish the thing you're trying to do, as long as you never teleport, you're good. Now, one thing you can do too, which I will bring this up later again, but if you actually touch the stone, then if you die, you will spawn at whatever stone you touched, and you don't need to teleport to make it so that you'll teleport, or that if you die, you'll go back to that stone. So those are just a little couple tips, like, when it comes to this tendency stuff. Alright, so the knights, you know, it's up to you on how you want to deal with them. They're, like I said, very easy for the most part. You can actually rush them. So let's do that real quick. So every time he's going to drop items for us. So we can go ahead and just run, like, right behind them, do this running attack, and then finish them off. pretty easy. You do it to both of them. And at this point, if you want to try to grab these items as well that were on the bridge, now it's time to do it. Because dying would have been terrible earlier. But dying now, I don't care. Like, it don't really matter anymore. So I can just come down here and grab this too. You know, this is worth it. Like, grabbing these are worth it. Because look, the dragon's not even attacking. So, totally, totally worth it. Now, if you remember, there was that lizard up these stairs. Now, because I've killed 2 bosses here, I believe this lizard... No, actually, this... I don't know. Maybe this lizard's going to spawn maybe this one time right now, and he might not respawn again. But see, he can drop some hard... Or he can drop some large hard stone shards. So remember, as we're upgrading the shield, we're going to need that. So if you want to get your shield to like +4, you can probably get the shield to maybe +4, maybe even +5. It's kind of like, you know, depends. But every time after you've killed the knights and you picked up their healing items, just run back here and you want to reload the area, okay? And then you can just sit here and do this until you get, mainly I would say, at least 25 late moon grass. And I would try to maybe shoot for 50 half moon grass. That's like the limit of what you can hold. But basically, as you can see, it's very easy to deal with these guys. There's many different ways to do it. With the backstab and blocking, or just, like, basically just swinging at them. Like, you probably get them no problem. It's optional if you want to kill these guys every time. They can drop some crescent moon grass, so it's just some more healing items for you. So, and you'll get, you know, a little bit of souls and stuff. So if you want to kill them, go for it. But if you don't want to waste the time and just run back right away, you can do that too. Okay, yeah, so this basically, we were able to kill this lizard right now 3 times. This is our 3rd time. This will be the final time, though. And then when... Actually, no, maybe... I don't know. Does that lizard spawn 5 times? That would be very bizarre. Because basically, there's 2 more bosses in this area. This is the only area where there's 4 bosses in total. So maybe that lizard will spawn like a whole bunch. I don't know. But basically, again, just go ahead and reload the area. And yeah, so this is what I'm going to be doing for a while. I recommend you do the same, like I said, to max out healing items. But coming up here, like in the next episode, we will go ahead and probably do World 2 a little bit. And that should be very easy for the most part. That will not be that difficult. But then we might actually go ahead and do World 2 too. Although we could probably start doing World 5. But World 2 too can actually be pretty difficult. Like, the boss can be pretty difficult. But we do have to kill that boss for the build that we're trying to do, to get the weapon that we're trying to get. That's going to be important. But basically, just get your healing items. And with the healing items, we should be able to block most attacks. We can dodge some attacks. And if we need to, we will heal and spam the healing items to make sure that we can get through all of the challenges. Alrighty guys, well that's going to pretty much do it for this episode of the Noob's Guide. If you have enjoyed it, please... Alrighty guys, well that's going to pretty much do it for this episode of the Noob's Guide. If you have enjoyed it, or if it hasn't helped... Alrighty guys, well I really do hope that you have enjoyed this video and that it has helped. If it has, will you please like the video for me? Be sure to subscribe for future videos and make sure to click the notification bell. That way you can stay notified when I upload. Thank you so much for watching, and I really do hope that everyone has a very nice day. And peace out.